Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
You're out there in London?
Yep.
How's it going there?
It's going pretty well. I'm right now, this week I've been writing a 20-page research paper for school, but the music's going well. The scene is open. I really enjoy my time here.
Everything's open and bustling right now, or are a lot of people basically still on lockdown?
Everything's open. We just never closed, even after winter.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's very good. So the music scene is thriving and doing very well.
Yeah, it is. It's good for continuation of shows, because once they stop, it's harder to get new ones. So last year we were in lockdown for 5 months in London when no one really else was, I feel. But now we're back.
What did you do during that lockdown period? Did you do a lot of writing and recording?
I did a lot of writing and producing because during that lockdown, I was in my production course. So I was just producing a lot because I have a little studio in my room. And I played some piano. I don't remember really what I did. I produced mostly.
It's always like this big one long fog. It's
like a blur, but I was definitely doing things musically.
Yeah. And did you find inspiration to do that during the lockdown? Or was it a challenge really? Because some people are just like, I can't do very much during this. I just can't get my head in the game.
Yeah, I had that issue sometimes, but then other days I would just try to sit down at least and start, because that's the biggest issue, and then I would get into it. But I think there were definitely days where I also did nothing.
Yeah.
Having class made me produce. So then, not made me, but that was the class. So I was producing for the class, and in that class I actually am releasing 2 of the songs I produced for it. And otherwise, I did write a few songs. That's all I can tell you about that period.
It's nice to have academia, though, kind of being that disciplinary kind of thing. Hey, keep yourself in order here and keep disciplined. That's which most performers just do.
Yeah, the only sad part was that it had to be on Zoom, so it was hard to give. Because I don't know, it was just hard to actually interact with the other producers. But it was still fun, and I learned a few things nonetheless.
Sure. Yeah. So how is the new release getting received now? It's there's some really great stuff there.
It's getting received well, apparently, according to what I'm seeing and hearing from my PR people. I had released most of them. I guess Anxiety was released the week before the EP, but it's really going well. I think it's helping me have more of a base to go off of when I'm trying to get shows and more interviews. I'm getting a lot of more interviews now from my new press release. So it did help a lot, I think.
Yeah, the new EP is how did that come about? What's behind it? That was a close call. Where does that title come from?
That's one of the lyrics in Stranger. I guess I wanted to call it that because half the songs I'd written when I was in a different place kind of before I was fully pursuing music and had a bit of depression and anxiety or whatever, and then one of the lyrics in Stranger was a close call, and I was it was a close call that I almost basically had taken a while to figure out how to pursue my musical career, because it's kind of like I didn't know producers, I didn't know anyone, so I was like, I have to do it all on my own. And once I got into this program here, everything kind of changed, and I was focusing full time on that. And then I added like 2 more songs that I'd written after, but it was still kind of from like beginning of like a year and a half ago. So now that I have newer songs coming out this year, I was just like, well, that was a close call, but I'm here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you got to be so grateful. It's like, I'm present. I'm going through this. It was about really closing a chapter in your life and moving on. And
yeah, because 2 years ago, I would have never known that I'm here. Like, I was working full time at BMG in quarantine in New York. And I was just like, I'm going to be doing this forever. So yeah, it's closing a huge chapter, mainly starting a new one that I'm super excited about, because I have so many new songs and my sound is changing and the music's getting better. So very excited.
It is. And it's exciting being in a place like London. I'm sure that's quite inspirational too, and probably drawing on experiences there.
Yeah, it's really fun. I also have grown up in a lot of different places and lived in many places. So it's nice to add another place as well. I feel like this is the first place I really felt like I had my own home. So it's really great right now. Like, I'm enjoying being in my mid-20s here in the beginning of my career, because met a lot of cool musicians and work a lot with them.
So what type of
to be in?
Oh, it is. It is. I was there years ago, and it's just so thrilling. I mean, just doing like, the pub hopping and going through the town and going near Big Ben. It's so beautiful too.
Yeah, I love how it's just second nature to go to the pub. I feel like when I lived in New York, I'd be like, anyone want to go to a bar after work? And I'm like, what bar? Where? And here it's just like the pub.
Yeah. It's so it's like, part of everyday life.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like such a big deal to have to go out to a bar in any of these.
Yeah, in New York, they're like, well, what bar would you want to go to? Because I don't want to go too far, blah, blah. And here, there's like a pub on every corner.
I love that you,
always drinking, but I'm just saying it's more relaxed.
It is. It really is. And I just love the fact, you really don't have to drive. You got the tube, and it's just like, I just like that urban kind of living, and everything's coming to you. You don't have to come to it so much. It's really nice. So the song "Is It a Crime?" I like that one. It's a bit faster, has a real good punch to it. How did that one come about?
That one actually came about first with the melody, but it was actually first another sound in the song, but then I went with it to some producers that I was going to write with, and they're like, that needs to be the melody of the hook. And I was like, oh, or no, I think they were like, that can't, something along the lines of that. And then I had already written the lyrics, so I guess it was just about like, I don't know, is it a crime to do, like, the general meaning is that everyone should be able to have their own like thoughts and opinions, or like want certain things for themselves, that it's not a crime. I wrote it about wanting a relationship, and I was always embarrassed that I wouldn't say that to people, because I feel like it's like, but obviously now I don't care, but at the time I was still a bit anxious and like, is it a crime, basically? So I want people to take like that into their daily life whenever they're like doubting anything. Just be like,
I think we could all relate to that though. It's like we could always feel like, isn't it a crime to like give a crap and to really want somebody who really cares about me and I care about them? And it's just, it's something that's very relatable.
You go through so many, like, especially in dating, like people who are just like really not nice about just that they're dating around. I don't know, this is coming out wrong. I just mean that they're like not always, people just aren't always nice. That's just what it is. And I'm like, is it a crime to just want someone who's like not rude as fuck.
It could get so nasty.
Pardon my language.
It's so true. It really is. It's like that whole scene is just like you could be just so rotten to one another at points too. It's terrible.
Yeah, like at least write an anti-ghosting text. Like,
yeah. Ghosting is that is huge. That really is. And you did an acoustic version of that too. I mean, when did that come out and why was that?
That came about because I just wanted a different version of the song. I think you can you listen to the lyrics more in that version.
Yeah.
And it's just deeper, and I really connect to that song and love that song. So I wanted to make sure that it would be heard in like that form as well as the other one. Also, because the other is more.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Like that was one of the first songs that I put out, right? So I wasn't sure that I loved the sound of it anymore because I like more techno vibe stuff. So I was like, let's just make an acoustic version, and it turned out very well. I might like it better.
Yeah, it really shows the range though, not just this house dance music, but it really shows that there's a lot more there, a lot more meaning, and it's definitely a lot more deep.
Can resonate with people more that way.
Yeah. And then going back to anxiety, I like that lyric. There's nothing worse than anxiety. How does that? You got to get that out there on the table, especially these days. Anxiety is just what so many of us are dealing with now.
Yeah. It's funny because I've gotten over it mostly in the last year. Like I'm kind of chilling now, but I obviously had extreme anxiety when I wrote that song, and I guess I was just feeling sorry for myself, but I was like, people who don't struggle with this don't understand how shit it is kind of thing. So that's why I wrote I know it's hard, it's not as hard as life can be, but when it's happening, that's what I believe. So that's just probably my most honest song in terms of every feeling I talk about there, which I think can only resonate to people who struggle with it, because I get the most reactions to that one after shows, I'd say. And they're like, wow, I really felt that song. So
oh yeah definitely. So
people.
Speaking of the live shows, are you doing a lot of that in London now, or is that kind of really slowed down? You did more of that when you were back in New York.
I'm doing more in London than I am in New York. I've played, I don't know how many, maybe 7 shows here. And I have 2 coming up before I go to New York in April. And then I have one in New York as well in April. So yeah, I've been these promoters found me, and then they keep rebooking me for shows, I guess, because they like what I did at the last one. So I have 2 promoters who have rebooked me for 2 more shows here. And I actually it's different playing here than it is in New York. They organize it differently. But I enjoy the shows here. It feels more because they always have a huge lineup, and then you're involved with all the artists. Whereas in New York, I just show up and play and kind of leave kind of thing. I mean, I'm sure if I got different gigs there, it'd be different. I don't know. But yes, the shows are great here.
How are the audiences different, London versus New York? Or is it about the same? Everybody's just got the same amount of energy. I always kind of wonder, how does the behavior, the way they react differently than here in the States?
I think right now it's kind of the same. I think that the fact that they're at I feel like maybe more people go to live gigs in general here, like during the week and stuff. So like sometimes depending on the venue, it'll be like packed here.
We're more weekend people here in the States.
And there's more random people too who just like walk by and come in. Like I feel like that's the difference for me, but they react the same, I'd say.
What type of clubs do you play? How many seats between London and New York?
Seats?
Yeah. How big are the venues, or the type of venues and the names of those kind of places?
So I played at what's it called? Old Queen's Head here, which was packed. I think there were at least like 100 people, like packed for the room size. And then Amersham Arms probably has like 250. I also played at Arlene's Grocery twice in New York. I think they have a bigger capacity. And I'm playing at Notting Hill Arts Club next month, which I'm really excited about because apparently it's like really legendary, and I think they're gonna have a big room. But I've yet to see. And I'm playing at the Slaughtered Lamb. And are you in New York?
No, I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. I'm playing at this place called Brooklyn Music Kitchen in New York. I think they're all up right now. The ones I play around 250.
Nice.
100 to 250. Yeah.
That's just got to be so neat to just be back in the live performing after everything we've been through. So that's to feel that vibe. It's just that probably brings it all back. So you were a DJ in New York. How did you get to being a DJ?
Yeah, I was about to say I only had my first singing show in June. So I didn't even have singing shows before the pandemic, really. But I was a DJ in New York, yes, for 2 years. I was playing a lot of shows, like those were more like clubs. Now I play pubs. But those were really fun. I mean, it varied from being really fun to a bit like sometimes playing bars where people are just chatting isn't that fun, but then I would remind myself that I'm getting paid to do that. So I was like, oh, right, this is a job, okay. And sometimes I would sing while DJing. I produced a song called Losing Control. I'm actually gonna remake it into a pop song though. And I would sing that live. I would play on yachts randomly. I played on a yacht on the East River a couple of times.
Oh, that's fun. I bet that's a really cool
while
thing.
doing it. So it was fun towards the end. I was like booking a lot. But yeah, that also died after Corona. And I was like, now I've lost my DJ momentum and I'm not a singer. And then I made it here and now I am a singer. I mean, in practice.
Wow, that's awesome. But you guys have some kind of like a technical know-how too. So you learned sound engineering. Was that easy to pick up, or just was that a huge challenge being such an artistic person?
So I did sound engineering for a year, but then I dropped out when I got a job at BMG because I already had a bachelor's and was like, I would rather take this job than keep doing this because it was a lot of physics. Like, yeah, I'm not going to lie, I honestly thought it would be a bit of producing, but it wasn't at all. And I was in Berlin, so it was in German, which is fine, but because I speak German because my parents are German, but when it got too scientific, I was like, okay, I don't really understand.
Yeah, that's got to be just so tough though. Yeah, because, it's a right brain versus left brain kind of thing. That's gotta be tough.
So we were learning some studio stuff, but I wanted to be more in the studio more than they were putting us in there. But now at my uni, I go to Goldsmiths now, and I did this like mini, it's not sound engineering, it's just actually it is sound engineering, but it's not like all that like physics stuff we were learning here. We just do it so that we can like record with other artists and engineer in the room while they record. So we know how to record ourselves when we go in alone. So I knew a bit of it before, which was nice.
Very cool. So what's it like there, Goldsmiths? Meeting, I'm sure, incredible people there.
I really like it. It's very liberal. They're very nice studios that you can just book for free, obviously. Well, comes with the price of tuition. But
yeah.
You can get sound engineers for free because the students just want to practice, and it's just really amazing equipment. So I like it. And I've made some friends through the program, and I'm learning a lot about, right now I'm doing musicology, but I'm going to do performance next term. I'm really excited for that. And then I'll graduate, be a full-time musician.
And what degree with that are you working towards?
A master's in popular music.
Yeah, you don't hear that too much in the business. People going through so much academia and really just taking it through that route. It's really neat.
Yeah, so I chose this program because I looked at so many programs, but they were all like, you do 1 year on the music business, and then you do 1 year on just stuff that I already knew because I'd worked at a label already. And none of it was practical. It was all just like studying theory, and which is fine. Like, I would also want to study theory, but I was like, at this point, what I'm trying to do is just dive into it. And I'm still learning some things.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry. We were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Like, this musicology class was a core module, so I'm still learning some like theories and stuff. But our only assessments, basically, all of last year, my homework was always just to make songs, which was great.
Yeah, and some of your music started as school projects, like Is It a Crime?
Yeah, and I didn't expect any of those because especially for the production class, I'd heard them so many times that I just thought they were horrible because I was like, I had to mix and master it too. So
wow.
I just really heard every part of it so often. And I was like, these are just horrible. And then when I went to LA and to work with producers, they were like, what do you have? So working with Ari Blitz and Luke Shretha and Simon J, they're amazing. And they're like, oh, wait, no. Ari was like, that's sick. And then we rolled with that and made 2 sick songs. So yeah, I'm happy about it, that it didn't go to nothing. I was like, thank God they weren't horrible. I'm so happy.
It's so easy to become like self-critical like that too, because you hear something so much, especially when you're putting together any kind of art. You got to put this to bed at some point. And it's like, I think the more you keep tinkering with something, you can make it even worse. And it's like, now there's got to be a point where you say, enough, I got to get this thing out here.
Yeah, I definitely also have to be like, I can't listen to this for a while, or I'm just going to lose any opinion I ever had, because I'll just not.
You just shelve it.
I don't really listen to like the released ones unless I'm like practicing them. But once they're out, I'm like, okay, that's done. Bye.
So how did you get to meet music exec Charlie Walk? He launched Lorde and people like that. Lorde is amazing, who I've seen.
I know.
Ariana Grande, yeah.
It's crazy. I still don't really like I mean, it's still really cool for me. I'm always like, wow, I can't believe I'm working with him. But also with Lisa Einhorn Gilder, his assistant, or slash, they kind of both act as management. They're both amazing. I started working with them in April, and I released my first song in June. And since working with them, this is how far I've come. And I'm like, that's crazy. But I started working with them because I didn't know how to get press. So I was like, followed some people who were friends of friends who I could see were getting press and stuff was happening. And I was like, how are you doing that? And one of them connected me with someone. I'm not going to say the name, but my mom was like, you should send that contract he sent you. Because he was like, oh, I love your songs. I'm down to like help you with PR, and sent a contract. And then my mom was like, send it to the lawyer. And then I sent it to the lawyer, and I was so disappointed because he immediately sent back like, don't sign this contract. Like, it's like not working, like in caps and in red. And my mom's like, he never is that intense. Like, there's something seriously wrong. And I was so upset, like, because I was so excited that I finally found anything.
Yeah.
And then I guess the lawyer could see that I kept asking things and was like, all right, fine. Like, I represent this guy. I'll set you up with him. And it was Charlie. And then Lisa apparently convinced him to have a meeting with me. And then they were like, oh, I want to work with her. And that's how it happened, so randomly. So like, if I didn't try to reach out to people on Instagram, I would have never met him.
Yeah, what a great connection. And it's really, it is tough. It's tough to get your word out there. It's tough to compete with so much content out there as well. So to have those right connections in place is a huge help.
Basically just proves that if you just talk to anyone you can, eventually they'll be like, okay, fine, talk to this person. And you're like, yes.
That's got to feel really good. You feel 20 feet tall.
My mom's always like, see, you were upset. Like, I'm like, oh my God, stop. I get it. You were right.
So what are your memories of, like, speaking of your parents and all that? Memories, you were in the West Village. Did you grow up there? It sounds like you've been around quite a bit too.
I grew up in the West Village, and then when I was 14, my whole family moved to Zurich. So I finished high school there. And then when I graduated, I went to Tulane in New Orleans.
Wow.
And
what a variety there. New York to Zurich to New Orleans, and the cultural differences, amazing.
And then I studied psychology there. I just didn't really know how to do, like, it wasn't possible for me at the time to study music, because everything I tried to look at was like, you basically need to be a professional pianist or like amazing at cello or something like that. And I was like, I'm just 17 and have nothing, but I just know that I'm going to be a musician. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm not doing that. And I studied psychology. And then I went for a year abroad in Berlin. And then I went back to New Orleans to finish my degree in psychology. And then I moved back to Berlin, and then was like, oh, and my last term, I was like, I'm going to do music business now because I need to know something about it in order to ever do anything. Like, the fact that I took that class is the only reason I got an internship at BMG. So when I graduated, I moved back to... Sorry, this is long. Are you asking?
Oh, that's fine. No, that's fine. No, it's an interesting history, though. I mean, just the variety there. So what was it like? I mean, the cultural differences, especially, like, how was the music scene in Berlin for you?
Yeah, so when I was there, I got really into techno, which happens to many people, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I want to teach myself how to DJ. This is all while I was having my sound engineering course that I didn't really care for that much. And yeah, I just bought some used CDJs and taught myself, and then played one mini festival in Germany. And once I had to move back to New York for my job at BMG, had that one show to try to get shows with in New York from like recorded sets I did. And it kind of just snowballed pretty quickly, where I was getting a lot of shows from like people who would be at my other shows wanting me to DJ, because it's kind of like a niche genre in New York, because I was playing like melodic techno. So
melodic techno, that's neat. Yeah.
So I just met all these people who just basically only play melodic techno as well, and we would always play with each other. It was really fun. I was sad when I realized it had died from corona. I was like, no. But now it's happening again with singing, that it's snowballing. So I'm happy that the work is paying off, because I've literally just started emailing everyone who I can.
Yeah. So what is your writing process like? Do you hear a melody? Do you start with that? Or do you start with lyrics and then set melody to that?
I usually start off, I got a lot of inspiration when I'm just like on public transport or walking around.
Yeah.
I usually come up with lyrics first, or at really random moments, I'll suddenly get like a melody for a hook in my head, and one word will randomly pop out to me, and then I'll write something based on that. And then I usually start with a hook, and then I go to the piano at home and try to like work out the chords, and then write a melody on the piano for the verses, and then write to that. So it happens randomly, but when I'm really sad about something, I just write all the lyrics first. Which can be harder at times.
Neat. That's really, really neat. So, and then the recording process, especially these days, how are you doing that? Are you just recording basically in one place, sending files around and having mix masters deal with that? Or are you really going into studios? I know you have that over there in London. How's that all coming together?
It happens just based on where I am and if I have to be in London or not. So Is It a Crime? I recorded the vocals at Goldsmiths, but people in New York I produced it, and then people in New York, I sent the stems to them and they just finalized it, because I'm not too good at mixing and mastering, and like added some touches or whatever. And so I recorded that one. The rest, I go to LA now mostly and record, and while I'm there, record and write like 2 to 3 songs with the producers in the time I'm there. And then some of them, like this is the second one I produced for my class last term, the like production one, where I went to LA already and recorded recorded the vocals, but something's missing. So I'm going into Goldsmith next week to like Zoom with them and finish recording. So I can really do either. I think I'm gonna try to send more ideas over to producers this time, where they send the track and I just record it at Goldsmiths, because I have to be in London until I graduate mostly. But I'm going to LA in April, so I'll record stuff there. It's just wherever I can record, honestly.
Yeah, really. And these days you could do that. It's really fascinating.
Anxiety was in New York. Anxiety and Stranger were both recorded in New York.
Wow. And then you're into music videos. That's probably got to be a whole different animal, shooting that. Some really nice looking videos.
Thanks. Yeah. I've only done 2 so far, but
yeah, beautiful. I mean, well shot, edited. Sounds good.
Yeah. The guy I work with, Dwayne Thompson, he's really good. It's fun. The first one I was nervous because I was like, now I suddenly have to act.
Right.
There's always more and more things you have to learn how to do that I didn't think of. So yeah, for that it was acting. But I think now I'm doing some performance training with Charlie as well, like movement calls. And that's getting me more comfortable on stage in general, and it's helping with the music videos as well.
Yeah, it's really theatrical when you get up there, when you're performing. It is. That is acting in its own way.
Yeah, so I'm gonna record my third one in like 3 weeks, and we're gonna make it more like in the studio vibe, and I'm gonna do some actual acting, and I'm excited. I think it'll be sick.
So you'll do the video in London?
Yeah, I think we're actually gonna rent an Airbnb for a night and film it there.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That sounds really, really amazing. Have you been doing live concerts online, like doing Facebook Live or anything like that?
I did a lot of live DJ sets, but never like a singing one. But I'm recording one next week, next Sunday, for like a live stream to raise money for this charity called War Child. And that's going to be streamed online, I think 3 weeks after. I don't remember the exact date. And people can like donate to the charity and stuff. So that'll be good. That'll be like a, not live, but, oh no, I think it comes out that day live. And then you can watch it until, I don't know. I'm still confused about it, but that's going to be a live stream.
It's a good charity. I think I've interviewed people who've been involved with that. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Who inspired you growing up? What type of music? I mean, obviously, you probably listen to a melange of music for all the places you've been, but who, like, they're at the top echelon, really inspired you?
I don't have the particular person. I honestly just always liked music and could tell that I always like pick things out like subconsciously, not unconsciously, of what I hear from like pop songs, just certain aspects of them, and then I'll put it together in my mind into one song that I feel like I just hear things that I can tell other people don't hear, and they're like, that song sucks. And I'm like, but this part's sick. So I'll just take that part, and like that inspires me to do something in another song. It's not really a specific person. It's just I'm doing my own thing. But I mean, right now, I listen to more indie pop and I make more pop. So it varies a lot.
Yeah. I mean, were you always just like in the top 40, or did you get into any kind of classic rock or anything beyond that, jazz?
Oh yeah, blues? I really liked AC/DC growing up. And then just like random people, like my parents would play the Bare Naked Ladies or something like. But this is the thing, like I can't ever remember a certain thing that my parents played, and like I feel like they didn't really play that much. Besides like Shania Twain and like, oh, Joan Jett, I heard a lot. My dad's favorite. I wanted to do, I guess, but those didn't really influence me. Like I got into jazz, obviously, New Orleans. And then I got into techno in Berlin. So, but New Orleans kind of had the influence where I would hear a lot of top 40s, So I was like, there were always certain songs I was just like, I'm embarrassed that I like this song. But I know that there's parts of it that's intriguing to people. Like, you know what I mean? When people are like, oh, pop's lame.
Right, isn't cool to like, you know, the really pop.
I'm like, something's working there though. Like
they're doing something right. It's very catchy. Yeah, I could sing for years. Yeah, things that I liked, and it's like I wouldn't admit that in high school because kids where I was at a high school, they liked AC/DC, Ozzy Osbourne, people like that. So
oh yeah, no, and especially at Tulane, like all the bars just played only top 40s. I would cringe so hard if I went, honestly. But there were some that were sick. Like, I really liked The Weeknd.
Yeah.
And
who Charlie Walk has worked with as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, I really liked that I'm not embarrassed by liking The Weeknd.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, then I liked jazz, then techno, and I really, really liked techno. So that's why I was like singing on techno tracks a lot in New York under my DJ name. And then I was trying to do a combination, but I was struggling to find a combination that wasn't being turned into EDM. And I just can't, I just don't like EDM at all. So I'm just going the pop route right now. I mean, some of them are more electronic, but yeah.
Cool. So on your website is pretty up to date, really fresh and everything. What's behind the
When did you look at it? When did you look at it?
Maybe in the last week or so. I noticed this thing about the I'm around sticker that because you have some merch on there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I do. I love that. I mean, that's just one of my catchphrases. Like I have these things that I say a lot and that everyone just starts saying automatically for some reason.
Yeah.
It'll be like, I'm around, like everyone I know says I'm around, which just means like I'm here. Or if you're drunk, you'll be like, I'm around, like I'm just drunk. Like it can mean so many things. And then time to freak is one, which is just like
that's
time
cool.
to party, time to do it, just time to whatever you want it to be. And then nothing matters sounds like it's nihilistic, which I guess it is, but I think that came mostly from like me and my friend who had anxiety would be like, nothing matters, and then just move on, and everyone's like, oh, that makes us feel better. Nothing matters. And we're like, sweet. But yeah, I have the stickers here somewhere. They're all over the place.
Yeah, you always got to have merch.
I've got I'm around t-shirts too. And
yeah.
hoodies.
It's catchy. It really is. It'll get people to start asking the questions, and then that leads to your whole act. It's a great idea.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, it's been fantastic speaking with you this afternoon where you are. Absolutely. And best wishes and best luck on you're working on a big paper right now.
Yeah, it's my final paper for critical musicology. I'm writing about like platforms like social media and streaming.
Excellent.
Long.
Well, best wishes.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. It was a great talking to you.
Great speaking with you. Have a great evening. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.